I was contemplating on whether or not I should start this recording today because I have a lot of features that I have not implemented into this application that most of you are going to be asking questions about, especially when it comes to do with expenses, when it comes to do with other things like services and stuff like that, which we're going to definitely go ahead and explore. But as of now, ladies and gentlemen, there's something that I promised you in this part 5, what it was that I was going to do, and I was going to come up with documentation and also design of the dashboard. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I want us to begin this, and not just to begin this just for the sake of completing this project, but to begin this for the sake of teaching each and every single person that has logged into this video to learn something new when it comes to developing with Laravel and Livewire and actually getting started with app development on the web. So let's get started, ladies and gentlemen, and I will see you guys in this video. Ladies and gentlemen, I have discovered something that I needed to do. First things first. I'm not going to be able to use this particular chart-based system right here. And the reason why is because there's a lot of JavaScript interruption when it comes to dealing with Livewire, Jetstream, and also the JavaScript that comes within ApexCharts. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to be using a package that's been online called Livewire Charts, that has been created by Santibáñez. I don't know his name. Andres Santibáñez, yes. So Andres Santibáñez over here created a Livewire Charts package, which is actually, you know what? I'm going to come in here and start it because I've never started it. But I've used this package before in some of my previous projects. One to do with a HR management system. And by the way, at 2,000 subscribers, I'm going to be doing the full-on HR management system. And at 5,000 subscribers, I'm going to be doing a full-on school management system. So ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see all those different kinds of projects, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and I will definitely come out and release these projects for free. Now, as we come in here and use this Livewire charts, we know that there's some specific items that we're going to be using. Of course, this is the preview that he's continuously showing us, and we're going to definitely use some of these line graphs. We're going to use some of these pie charts. We're going to be using a little bit more of these bar graphs as well, just to log out which ones are going to be beneficial for displaying data to do with our sales and purchases, and we're going to move on better from that point. Great. So now what we're going to be doing here is we're going to come in here and install this. So we're just going to come here and do our composer require, and then our PHP artisan Livewire charts install. So I'm just going to come in here. I'll go to my terminal, and then I'll hit Shift Insert because I've copied it, and then it will run. And sometimes some of these things are hit or miss, but this is the only package that I have used in recent times that has worked very diligently. So we're going to be using this. So yeah, strap up and let's see what we can do with this. Okay, as we proceed on, as this thing continues loading, what we're going to do here is we're going to open up our system and see what we have left in terms of calculating our revenue and stuff like that. So we have this total revenue badge that we've created over here, where it calculates the total revenue of the entirety of our system. So what we're going to do here is, instead of doing that, instead of calculating for the entirety of our system, we're going to calculate for this month alone. So I'm going to go into App, Livewire Admin, and then we're going to go to Account Summary. And here in Account Summary is where we're going to take this all. So we can see this stock value and this sales value is what we're getting. And then we have this total revenue is equal to this sales amount. So over here, what we're going to do here is we're just going to come in here and say for each sale all as sale. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come in here and say this sale, if the sale date, I'm going to come in here and put it inside our carbon fetch. So it's going to be carbon, and then we're going to parse it. And then I'll say is between, and then we'll just pass in the date. The first date is going to be carbon now. Then we'll say start of month. then to date string, and then we'll take the same function here and actually put it here, but this time we'll say end of month. And just so that things are visible, I'll just do it like that. Let me zoom in so that we can all see the code very easily. So you can see we're coming in and saying if this date is between the first of this month and the last date of this month, then that's when we're going to come in here and actually send this total revenue as the total amount. So when we save that, we can see our total revenue is 0 over here. And it's understandably so, because if we go to our sales, there's nothing in our sales that says December whatsoever. Nothing in our sales that says December. So now, what we're going to do here is we're going to create here an instance, and we're going to save this instance as, so that is our instance of our current date. And then what we're going to come in here and do is, if we change our instance of the month, then it's going to come in here and replay it over here. So I just, wherever it is that we have carbon now within here, we're just going to replace this with this instance. Great. So now we can log this instance to be changing inside our account summary. So what we're going to do here is inside our account summary, we have a special place where we can put in our, well, constant expressions contains invalid expressions. So what we're going to do here is we'll just come in here and declare the instance, and then we'll put inside this mount. We'll come and say this instance is equal to carbon now. And that's how we're going to go about that. So if we go to the overview, we can now come in here and create inside our overview as a changer, a date changer. So let's say we have maybe say an input of type date, or we can even say month. And what this month will do is we'll just come in here and just do a wire model, and then we'll say month. And what this month will do, as we pass it inside here as a different variable, what we'll come in here and do is we'll come in here and do a function called updated month. And inside this updated month, when month changes, then this is what we're going to do. We'll come in here and say this instance is equal to carbon, all right? And then we'll come in and say we'll carbon pass, and we'll pass in the month, and that will be our new instance. Now inside our mount, after carbon now, we'll come in here and say this month is equal to this instance, all right? And then we'll come and say format, and we'll format it as a year end month, just like that. And that's exactly what will come into our system right here. So you can see by default, it's just written December 2024. If this wasn't there, then it will be an empty month. So now you can see that works. So now on changing this to like say November, then we'll know that our instance right here, if we go to our Livewire, we can see our instance is supposed to definitely change after that change, right? Because you can see over here, our month has changed from December to November. So if this changes, then this changes. Then this particular part will also change. So if we did this, if we come in here and did wire model and maybe say live, so we have our month over here. We come in here and change this to November, this changes to November, and the instance also changes to November. So after the instance changes to November, what happens next? Well, we have to pass in this function once more, once the instance changes. So if the instance changes, then we're going to come in here and see. So we'll come in here and look at November, and we have November's sales, total revenue right there. We have October's, and we have September, right? Then we have August, which is almost, should be nil. I don't know why it's not changing there. July, November. So you can see it's adding up on all those values, all those different values. So the reason why it's adding is because we have to start by declaring that this total revenue is indeed something different from the very, it's starting from 0 at the very beginning. So after you change this, You'll come in here and say this total revenue is equal to 0, and then we'll start. So we'll come in here into November, we have that. We come into October, we have that. If we come back to November, we'll go back to the normal original value. Go back to September, that's the value. Go back to August, it's at 0. So October, there we go. So that's how we'll sort out this particular part over here. It's not slow whatsoever, because if we reload, you can see it loads up everything very quickly and very seamlessly as well. So what if we were able to do the exact same thing when it came to the products, right? We're able to know the stock value of all the products in this particular time. And then also on top of that, we'll be able to know whether or not we are at 12% increase or 10% decrease, or compared to whichever month that we're talking about. So we'll start by doing total revenue of this month, and then we'll come in here and say revenue previous, all right, is equal to 0. So we have this for each loop over here, and we're coming here and saying if the sale date is at the start of the month and the end of the month of this particular instance, then we're going to also do another for each loop at this point, okay? We're going to do another for each loop, and we're coming here and saying if the sale date is between this instance, and we're going to come in here and say start of month, and then sub, all right, to date string, and then this instance end of month, sub month to date string. That's how we're going to go about this. Then we're going to come in here and say revenue previous is equal to this sale total amount plus equals to this sale total amount. Now, in order for us to get the percentage, this will be something that we go on. So we have the current and we have the previous. If we subtract the current from the previous, get the difference between the two, put it above the current, and then multiply by 100. That's how we're going to get the total revenue. So this is how we go about it. So we'll come in here into our public total revenue. We also have our public, then we'll say, revenue difference, right? We'll just call it rev diff is equal to 0. 0%. We'll talk of 0%. Or maybe we can just say that we're just leaving it like that. So we'll come in here and then say that this revenue difference is equal to 0 at the moment, okay? So if this revenue difference is at 0 at the moment, then we'll come in here and say, at the end of all this, at the end of getting the total amount, at the end of this for each, we'll come and say this revenue difference, all right, will be equal to the total revenue of the first, then minus the total revenue of the previous. So just do difference between. So we'll say the total revenue right now has to be on the greater side. So like, let's say, for example, this is plus 12, right? Which means right now, the total revenue is more than the previous month's total revenue. So if it's on a positive, then it's good. So we'll just come in here and say that the total revenue, so we'll say this total revenue minus the previous revenue, okay? And then we'll take all of this, and whatever remains, we'll divide it by this current total revenue, all right? And whatever answer we get, we will multiply it by 100 on this side over here, because percentage means that it's for every 100. So we'll come in here and say this revenue difference or revenue deviation, we'll call it revenue deviation for now. And that's what we'll change up here, revenue deviation. And now we have logical reason to put this part over here, this revenue previous at the top. So I'll come in here and just do this. And then we have revenue previous. We'll come in here and put it up here. We'll come and say revenue previous is equal to 0. So now where we've put this same if statement is where we're going to be putting this same if statement. So we'll just come in here and say, we'll come and do this revenue previous plus equals like that. And then we'll come in and say where it is that we put this sale total, we'll put it there. So we've generally instantiated this calculation right here. we're comparing our total revenues between months. So what I'm going to do in this situation here is, the next thing I will look at is making sure that this works on this side, on this particular side. So we have our account summary. We have here 12% compared to last month. So we have this text over here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come in here and say, I'll just do it like this. So I'll just do revenue deviation, which is, if it's greater than 0, then do success. If not, then do danger. That's how we're going to work it out. So you can see it's at negative, definitely. So now what we just need to do here is take this same revenue deviation, put it over here, all right, and then wrap it in the curly brackets like so, and then multiply it by 100. And then whatever multiplication we get, we're just going to come in here and do a number format, and we're going to put maybe say 2 decimal places right there. And there we are, it's at 0.00% compared to last month. If we come in here and do November, you can see undefined variable revenue previous. And the reason why we have that is because of this. So we'll come in here and say this, and there we go. And I think we'll be good to go at this particular point. So revenue deviation starts here. And we'll also put it inside the amount. So we have division by 0, which is totally curbable. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to come in here and take this total revenue. So the revenue deviation, if we're going to come in here and say this total revenue is greater than 0, the revenue deviation right here is what is supposed to be right there. So we have this function down. If it's greater than 0, it's less than 0. That's how you curb a division by 0. Otherwise, revenue deviation, you just leave it as not applicable. If revenue deviation is at 0, just leave it at NA. And that's how we go about that. So I'm just going to come in here and take it and put it inside here, just in case the change will also lead us to start doing division by 0, and we're good to go. So we'll come in here and switch. You can see November, October, and not many things are switching at this point. Not many things are switching. We can see the switches are happening over here. Although I think the subtraction of month is what is providing a bit of the work here. So I'll put sub-month on the other end. Yeah, there we go. So it's working there. I don't know why it's not worked for October. November is definitely working. December is not working. No, December is working. October is working. September is working. We go back to October. So you can see total revenue is the one that is showing up. We have revenue previous over here, which is coming in from the sale that is between so I think essentially what we need to do here is put this and put that there, and I think we're good to go. So we start with December, and when we start with December, this is the revenue, this is the total revenue. Although total revenue is about sales, so I don't understand why, because there are no sales in December that we've made anyway, no sales whatsoever, so I don't understand where these numbers are coming in from, which is, it's all right. I think everything looks good so far. So because this part at least is working. The only thing is this part for where we're subtracting the month, because this instance is still going to remain the same. Unless if we did this, went to November, December, November, December. I don't get it. I don't get where we're getting sales for December from. October. I don't get where we're getting sales from. The other thing that we could probably do here is, if we did this, let's say format, and of course we need to close this bracket off. So format, and the format will be YM is equivalent to this month. If that is the case, then get the total revenue, right? Then we do the same for this part over here. And instead of doing this, we'll just replace this part over here. So if carbon pass sale date format YM, so the sale date So if the sale date is this instance sub month, so what I'll just do here is I'll come in here and just do this one and then previous month. And then I'll come and do this instance sub month and then format YM like that. And then I'll say this previous month. This previous month, actually I'll just do it like that. But now this previous month needs to also be declared together with the month that is at the top. So that's how I would probably go about it. Hopefully this piece of work works. And then of course, because we are there, we need to come in here and work this out as well. So the same thing that's happening inside mount, same thing that's happening inside here. So we'll come in here, we start, we'll come and switch month, we'll come and switch back to December, and you can see those bits work. So those bits work, at least we're at a point where we understand it at least. So where we have total revenue it's working. This part is also working. So the whole aspect of revenue deviation is working. And we can definitely see that if we look at December, the previous month was November, the previous month was October. So now what's the actual figure when we come and talk about this revenue deviation? That's what we want to find out. So when we look at actual figures, October, you can see 85.24%. These other ones are 0%, all of them. And I would like to know why, because you see this total revenue, if total revenue is 0, then the rest of this thing would still be 0, yes. If total revenue for November is 0 and the previous month is, or the previous month is 0, then it would actually be, so it's always going to be total revenue subtracted from previous revenue. So if this part over here is greater than 0, all right. So check this out, yeah. I'm just going to come in here and put this like inside brackets and then paste this there. Put this in brackets as well. Paste this there. So that's how I'm going to go about that. We have the division by 0 right there. So we have this total revenue minus this revenue previous. If it's greater than 0 or if that is less than 0, then actually do this math. And I would expect that it works out that math without flinching. So it's either this or this, but it still says that it's actually dividing by 0 at this point. So what I'm going to do, instead of even doing this greater than or less than 0, it's actually not equals to 0. So, but why is it that because it's equal to 0, that's working? If total revenue subtracted from previous revenue is equal to 0, then do this to get the total revenue. It doesn't make any sense, because if I go back to November, still 0%. October, still don't understand it. Because revenue deviation is not supposed to be a product coming in from a subtracted value over here. If this is equal to 0, then you divide by total revenue. What I'm going to do here is, because division by 0 is not permitted, how about we do it like this? Yeah, there we go. So if it's not equal to 0, that's where we have things. But because this is November, the previous month has some sales. This month has some sales. So if November has sales and October has sales, then this is the comparison. It doesn't make any sense unless the revenue previous was not working at this particular point. But well, we are good to go at this particular point here. And we can actually redesign some few things. But first, like I promised, we're going to be doing some generation of some documents. We're going to go ahead and have a form on this side, right? We're going to have a form on this side right below these items over here. And it's going to go ahead and process for us some few things. So we're going to do a column MD6, column MD8, column 12, and column MD4, column 12. So this row, we're done with it. We'll come and create another row. We'll do column MD8, dot column, maybe say column 12. And then in the next column, we'll do a column MD4 dot column. Inside this second one is where we're going to be creating this form. In this form, we're going to come in and actually not even a form, but a card. All right. And this card is going to have a card header, where we're going to have buttons inside. So this one will be generate. So card header, we'll just come and do H5, and then we'll say generate documents. Okay, and then we have our card body down here, and we'll just do a row. So a grid row like that. And inside this grid row, we'll come and do some buttons. So btn.btn.btn primary. Then we'll come in here and say P and L. All right. We'll come and do another button. Well, let's save that and see how that appears. So we can see it definitely appears quite well. We have our P and L statement. We have our what? We have our balance sheets. All right. We can also have our, there's this thing where we have our account summary actually. We don't even need a balance sheet at this point. And then from this point here, we can come in to our row and do an MB, no, empty. No, we can do an MB3 and we'll take the same MB3, paste it here again. We'll go to this row over here and paste it here as well. So now that we have that, we have our card with our BG doc, and then we have our card header with our text INV primary. And then instead of BG doc, we can just do BG INV secondary, like so. And then we'll have our buttons right here. So inside our buttons, we'll just come and put them inside divs. So these divs will be of maybe say a margin bottom of 3 as well, just to space it out nicely. And then I'll come and do account summary right here. And then instead of BTN primary, we can just do BTN INV. Can do BTN INV primary for this one, and then for the second one, we can do secondary, or actually both primary. Now the reason why I've selected them to be primary, if I go back to the, actually let's just do secondary instead. And the reason why, as you can see, these ones are locked in like this. If I come in here and we do our, we go into our public, we go to our admin LTE CSS, and we go and look into our bootstrap CSS, or even our admin LTE right here. Then we look at BTN primary. Our BTN primary is like this. So we have the color, and then the border color, and then the hover color, and then the focus color, and the active color. We have that for our BTNs, all of them. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to my, actually this is the map.min.css. Yeah, it's pretty much that. So if I go back to my my resources and my SAS and then my app.scss, I'm going to create that class. So btn inv primary. Okay, and then down here is where we go ahead and we do the color, and the color is going to be this color over here, F29 F67, right? Then we have our background color, BG color, and our background color is going to be this one, 1E1. And we have to put a hashtag at the very beginning, and it's okay, it's good to go. But now we want this to be lightened a bit because the background color is indeed, in fact, that. So we want to lighten it by maybe say 35%. So we'll save it like that. And if we see this, it's not yet taken effect. So we'll move on forward. The next thing we're going to do here is the hover color. All right. So inside hover, this becomes darker. In fact, I would probably make this a little bit more bluer, or maybe even a bit lighter. So we'll come in here and say background color, maybe say 50% lighter. And essentially that should have worked. I don't know. The only way it can now possibly work is if we went ahead and did the important functions. So I'm just going to come in here and do important. Go down here, I'm going to do important, and the color as well, important. And I'm sure this thing is running. So instead of secondary at this point, just do primary, and yes, we have them there. We have this part for the hover. We'll just do color, and then we'll take this and turn it to white. I'm just going to come in here and do white. And if I hover, well, essentially nothing is happening. I can see the the hover is working. We just need to do the focus as well. So if that's the case, we have hover, then we also have focus doing the same thing. And then the last thing that I didn't see, that I probably needed to see. So we have the hover, we have the focus, then we have the active color, then we have the border color, and then we have the shadow. So just going back here, so we have the focus, we have the active being the same, and then we have disabled. So disabled will just be a gray, which will be a triple E, I think. Disabled, the background color will be so instead of lightening. Now, high likelihood is that this lighten probably doesn't even work. So I'm just going to come in here and just leave it as 1, or even a red maybe. Maybe the same for this one. So you can see it's red, but it's not changing. There we go. I think things are working up a storm at least. But on hovering, it's doing a bit of a crusade here. So like if I hover over here, there's nothing else happening. And given that the color over here, I've changed that. So if I hover, the color of this is supposed to be changing. But anyway, those are things that we can fix up quite later. We can just go ahead and do the account summary over here. We come in here and just do the wire click, and then we'll just do a download PL statement like that. And then we'll copy the same thing. And then we'll come in here and do download accounts. So we have the PL statement, and we just need to get a format for a P&L statement. So P&L statement. So now for us to visualize what our P&L statement would look like, we have one here. You can go into Pinterest and see what one looks like. So we have one over here. We have, okay, well, this doesn't look really good anyway. But it's accounting also for expenses and stuff like that, right? Another thing that we also need to account for is our numbers in terms of our stock that was there at the beginning of this particular time, our stock value before December began, and our stock value after December began. Okay, so I have to have opening stock and closing stock. And how do we calculate all those things? Well, opening stock is the value of all the purchases that have come in prior to that particular month's beginning. And then the closing stock would be, and then of course purchases minus the sales, and then the stock valuation that it will be happening at that particular point. So let's actually draw it up. We have our notepad over here. I'm just going to plus everything. We have our opening stock. Okay, we'll have our sales revenue, yes? And then we'll also have our purchase value, right? So by default, the total number of purchases will be equal to, the stock value will be equal to the number of purchases minus the number of sales. And some will ask, why is it that we have to put sales before purchases in this situation? It's because you cannot sell what you don't have. So by default, whatever it is that you've bought is what it is that you're selling, and you cannot sell if you do not have. So you have to have bought before you sell. So that's the stock evaluation. Okay, number of purchases subtracted from the number of sales. Now, in order for us to get the number of purchases for December, okay, the number of purchases by December would be, December opening stock will be the number of purchases before December minus the number of sales. I'm going to just press enter on this, do a tab. Is equal to the number of purchases before December, and then minus the number of sales before before December. Okay, so we have these values set up for us. Okay, we can get the number of purchases before December and the number of sales before December. But all of these are in terms of quantities. Okay, all these are in terms of quantities. They're not in terms of the values, in terms of the sales and the total value of the sales, or the purchases and the total number of purchases, and total value of the purchases. Because in purchases, we could have bought something at 12 shillings and sold it at 15. So those are different values. But those same items, let's say, for example, we bought 6 pencils, right? If we bought 6 pencils at price of 15 shillings each pencil, and sold each pencil for 20 shillings, so 6 times 20. So that's 120 minus 90, and that's where we get the profit. Okay. Of course, other expenses have to also be included in that stock sheet. But how do we get the opening and the closing stock? Well, we bought only 6 pencils. So which means at the beginning of the month, from before the month began, we had 0 pencils. Closing stock. After the month has ended, we've already sold those 6 pencils we bought within the month. So at that point, we still have 0. I hope that makes sense to most people. So if we're looking at December opening stock, we have to take purchases before December and number of sales before end of December. That is okay. So this is sorry, it's supposed to be before here. So that's opening stock. When we're looking at closing stock, is where we're supposed to actually take this into account, where we come in here and say December closing stock is number of purchases at end December, and then number of sales at end December. So yeah, that's essentially how we're going to do this. So December closing stock is supposed to be January's opening stock. So therefore, this will definitely be before January in the same sense. Okay. So that's how we are going to go about this. So we have opening stock and closing stock. So we'll get opening stock, all right, and then we'll also get closing stock. So all these will take in the month, and also this will take in the month. So in order for us to get opening stock, we have to take in the month into account. We have to take this function over here, sales and purchases, all inclusive. So we'll come in here and say, for each sale, all as sale as the key, right there. We'll come in here and say that if the sale date is within the month, is before the month, before this month. Okay, so I'm going to come in here and say carbon pass is before, and then I'll come and pass this month and take first of month. So I'll come and pass this month over here, and then I'll come and say first of month and to date string. Okay. And the best thing we could do essentially is just put this inside the opening date. So we'll just come in and say open date is equal to this, close that off. And then we'll come in here and say if the sale date is before the opening date, right? Then this total revenue, and we're not doing total revenue at this particular point here. We're coming here and doing, we'll start with the opening stock, right? We'll come and say opening value is equal to 0, okay? And then we don't want to deal with the total amount of their sale, but rather we'd want to deal with the total amount that is coming in. If we look at the migrations over here and we look at the sales, we have the sales and we have the products that are attached to this. So we'll come in and we'll do it like this, okay? We'll take the value of the product itself, not the value of the product sale. So we'll come in here and say sale products. Okay. Let's actually let's do it with chest. I'm not going to, I'm going to guess. I'm going to do some bit of guesswork over here. So we'll come in here and do sales products sum. So I'm going to do products sum. And then inside here, inside sum, I'm just doing a function here where I'm able to pass in the product, and this function is able to give me the product, then we'll take the purchase price. So that will be our opening stock. So we'll come in here and state opening stock value is going to be opening stock value over here, adding this right there. So that's for the sales. For the purchases, we'll do the exact same thing right here. And then we'll say for purchase, we'll just come in here and take this. Wherever we have sale, we replace with purchase. Great. So then what we just get to do here, just according to our notepad over here, to get the opening stock, it's the number of purchases before December minus number of sales before December. So if we're taking the month, is the number of sales before that month, the number of purchases before that month minus the number of sales before that month. So we'll come in here and just do return. Then we'll come and take the, of course, the opening stock value. This one will be opening stock value. We'll just come in here and say sales value. All right, so we'll just duplicate this twice. And then we'll come in here and say sales value. And then this one here will be purchases value, okay? And then we'll come in here and replace this part over here. So purchases value and then sales value over here. And then what we'll return, we'll just return purchases value minus sales value. And that's how we go about that. So that's the opening stock bit. For closing stock, I'm just going to do the exact same thing, bring this down here. But in this situation, it would be last of month. That's all we're doing. So we're just changing this to closing date, just so that we don't confuse. And then we'll just do last of month. Or we'll do a new opening date, right? We'll just call it opening date. And then we'll come in here and add a month. And then we'll take the first of month to date string. Precisely that. So that's essentially what it is. So if anything is coming in before this opening date, return our closing stock. So in order for us to be able to see this inside our account summaries, what I'm going to do here is where it is that I put this other column, I'm just going to do two H1s. The first one is going to be opening, and then we're going to come in here and do closing stock. And what I'm just going to come in here and do is I'll just come in here and say this get stock, get opening stock, okay, get closing stock. Okay, and then for opening stock over here, I will come in here and say this get opening stock. So functions inside here, right? So we can call these functions just like that. So get closing stock and get opening stock. So I'm just going to come in here and save, and we see what goes down. And so too few arguments. Oh, and then of course the month. So I'll just come in here and do month and month here. So you can see opening stock is at 0, closing stock is at 0 as per this. But if I come in here and do October, this should also have changed. Well, essentially it would have, but I don't think it needs to change that much. And besides, even our stock valuation right now is at 400,000. So these amounts should also be having some value. So purchase value, sales value. So I'm just going to close this. And there's a high likelihood also that these functions are probably not working. But in order for us to actually know, is through the models we've also been doing some of these values. So we come in here, and you can see this payments sum. So that's the payments, and then we have the total quantity. Then we have total amount. So this product sum, and then it's actually doing unit price from the pivot, which is coming from the product sale, not from the products themselves, the product purchase price. So total amount, total quantity, total balance, total is paid, get is paid, total balance, and payments. But we don't have a total value attribute over here. So I'm just going to come in here and do total value attribute. And then instead of getting pivot quantity, we'll just come in here and say product purchase price. Okay, total pivot quantity, fine. And then we'll have to also do the total pivot. No, not total pivot purchase price, but the product purchase price. So that's the total value of this particular sale. And we'll do the same thing when we come in here and do it. So where we have total amount, we'll just do total value as well. And then when we go back to our account summary, instead of doing this sale products, we'll just come in here and do sale total value as it's been declared over here. And I don't know why there's an error somewhere that has popped up. If we come here and total value, and we remove this here as well. Oh, and this as well, and this as well. Yeah. And then purchases value, we're also going to remove this all the way till this point over here. Total value. Yeah. So we have opening stock over here at 400,000, right? And then we also have our sales value, closing stock coming in like this. So if we have our total purchases from before, right? We have our total purchases from before. So if it's before the opening date, which is this, so this is sales value is before the opening date we've already been given, first of month, right there. That's the opening stock. So if it's before the first of this month, then fine. Then we get the closing stock, of which if it is before the first of next month, then it will just add up everything, including all the purchases that have happened even before the start of this month. So essentially, if there's anything that has happened between the start of this month and at the start of this month and the end of this month, then it should also be captured over here. Ideally, if the closing stock is refusing, then maybe the issue is not within here, because here we have the correct opening stock, we just have the incorrect closing. Yes, so essentially this for each loops that are supposed to be here are also supposed to be. So we've done it right. We've done it extremely correctly, such that now if we come in here and do our sales, we create a sale for this month and we say it's on 18th, our client search will come in here, we'll do this one, and we'll add maybe say this NVIDIA GeForce, and there are 2 units remaining with the unit price of maybe say, this is a 4080, so maybe say 250,000. So we'll just add this to the list. I'll go up to the list and make the sale. Interesting. So we have this sale over here. It's done. If we go to the edit, things look okay. So we're fine. We're all good. So now if we go back to the overview, we can see our closing stock over here is at 0 for some reason. And the reason why that is because our December revenue is 500,000. You can see that our December revenue is here. If we can see our November revenue, there we are. We can see our October, there we are. So you can see the opening stock and the closing stock valuations are at these values, okay? And if we go ahead, let's actually just number format it. So you can see opening stock over here, this particular point. I'll just use Kenya shillings for now. Okay. So if we go back to this previous month, opening stock is at this value. But why is it at negative? Now that's a very strange situation right there. You cannot buy what you can't. You cannot sell what you do not have. That's a very strong fact right there. Cannot sell what you don't have. So there's a high likelihood that our purchases that have been made in a sense of, or rather our purchases and our sales that have been made in a sense of not ignoring that fact, especially within the seeders. So yeah, that's essentially what has happened. Because if we now go back to October, you can see our closing stock for this time is our opening stock for the next month, which works. It works perfectly, in fact. So you come in here, closing stock is this, and then you can see the stock valuation is supposed to actually be this 400,000. That's supposed to be our current stock valuation, if this is the current closing stock value. September, like so. So you have opening stock here, and then you have closing stock here. So I don't understand why we have a negative, whereas if we go to opening stock, meaning that we have to have bought some stuff. So we buy some stuff on this particular dates. These are purchases, and we can see our different evaluations. We can see September we bought a few items, but when it comes to sales, September already like over trumps everything in terms of whatever it is that we sold. So you can see total units sold are these amounts, but then the total units bought are these small amounts. So that's where we have our issues generally. But these functions generally work. And you can see stock valuation has gone back to 0, yet it's not at 0. It should be it should be having an actual value. So you see we have stock value here, and we also have our mount function also taking up the stock value somewhere. So stock value is over here, inventory balance multiplied by purchase price. So we have, and then we have this sales count, which is the product total sales count. So we have product inventory balance multiplied by the product purchase price, which is okay. Essentially, that is fine. And that's running for all products. So in this situation, if we refresh this should actually have returned to us the 400,000 that we need. So when we start with stock value being 0, that's the main essence. So I'm just going to come in here and just do this. Stock value is equal to 0, and then we have the stock value and the sales count. All right, so if we log these ones off, we know that these functions are actually definitely working. So we know how to get the ones for each and every single month there is. The question would be now, is it that our stock evaluations are, giving a vibe off of this? If I come in here and comment this off, there's nothing that's coming back into our stock evaluation. So these functions are fine. If we come in here and log this one off for the updated month, nothing is changing. So these functions are quite okay. The only issue is what is happening over here, where we have inventory balance and purchase price. I have inventory balance and product purchase price, giving us the value that we need. All in all, I don't see how a reason why we would also have the stock evaluation right here, but we will move on regardless. So we have this button for downloading the P&L statement. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go into our account summary. I know I have new functions inside my purchases and sales. Actually, maybe this is what is also causing our divide inside here. So I'll just try as much as I can. Let's comment this out for now, and also comment this one out for now and see what happens. All right, so that one is done. We have our account summary over here. And inside our account summary, we need to have these functions here. So download PL statement, which is supposed to be right here. So function download PL statement. This is supposed to be for the P&L statement. Then we also have another function, and this function is supposed to be account summary. So now, in order for us to have our PDF downloads, so I'm just going to come in here and get Laravel.pdf, and inside here we're just going to come and get this, go to our terminal and actually paste it in here. But actually our DOM PDF has already been installed. Now I don't even understand why I did this. There's no need for me actually to do this. Our DOM PDF has already been installed, because if we look at our levels where we have our invoices, right? If we go and we try to do anything with invoices, if we want to create an invoice, of course the invoices inside product list group are not working. So let's actually look at invoices. So we'll go to resources, views, Livewire, invoices, and then create actually. And then we have this part where product list group is here. If we look into components, what we need is product list item, not list group. And we have the selected product ID, and we also have the product itself. So I think we're good to go. Our clients, we also need our clients list group actually. So I'm just going to come here and then budget inside here. So just the same way we did it inside our, is it sales? It should be sales create, client list item. We're just going to go back in here, do the exact same thing here. But then instead of sale, it should be, actually it is sale. No, it's not sale. If we go back to invoices, I think it should be invoice. Because if we retract this, invoice client ID, it should be invoice client ID. So then we have this, we'll come in here and do that, and then we'll do a product search. We'll come and do this, add the quantities, 3, unit price, maybe say 50. Then add this to the list and then make the invoice, or the invoice date field is required. So I'll come and say we make the date for 18th. And we have this here and we can download it right there. And we have our invoice right here. So this is fine. This is working well. So we didn't really need to install our DOM PDF because we already created that field for the invoices. So we need to create the same scenario for that inside our DOM PDF. But here's the thing. Whenever we do this return PDF load file and all those different things, what we're going to do here, let's actually try this out, yeah? I'm going to go ahead and create that function, Livewire. But in most situations, our Livewire won't pass this function to run. So I'm just going to go to routes, go to web. Oh, sorry, not routes web, but resources, views, docs, PDF. And then we're going to come in here and create a different PDF over here. So this PDF, I'm going to call it P&L statement, or we'll just do profit loss.blade.pl. PHP, profit loss.blade.php, and then account summary. So we'll do those two. We have profit and loss, and we have account summary. I'm just going to come in here and do just the common HTML starter points for these two. And then we'll just have to test these out inside here. So we have these functions created, download P&L statement. We come in here and we'll just do return PDF, okay, which is there. PDF load file, or load view, actually, load view. And then the view here will be just PDF dot account summary, right? And then we'll come in here and just say stream. So we'll come in here and do that. We'll load it up over here, go to the overview, and have it done here. So this is the PL statement, and this one is for the account summary. So here in the PDF, here it should actually be profit loss. So if I click on this, there'll be an error, of course. There's malformed UTF-8 characters, possibly incorrect. And why that would be, so I'm just checking here with a bit of some Stack Overflow, and nothing here to help. So I'm just going to come in here and just do Laravel DOM PDF Livewire. Okay, so let's try this. I'm just going to come in here and put this. And if I'm using PDF, actually I'm just going to get rid of this. I don't want that. And then I'll come in here and say PDF. Then we'll just do load view, and we'll do PDF dot profit loss, then stream, then the name report PDF. So clicking on this, we have this report PDF, and it downloads it a blank page. Fine. So that works very fine. And then we'll come in here and do the same thing over here. And now the thing about this, the downloading the PR statement, is I wanted to do it for a particular month. So in order for us to do it in a particular month, I will come in here and just do month. And then I'll also do here a month, all right? And the data that needs to be passed inside our load view over here comes in through here. So I'll come in and just do it like this with the data. And then inside this data, what I'll just need to do here is pass in the data reports for the sales and the purchases of this particular month. So we'll come in here and say, maybe say closing stock. We need opening stock being equal to get opening, right? So it will be this get opening stock, and then we're passing in the month that we're talking about, get opening stock for that month. And the month is here, which is, it's here, right here, so it should come through here. Then we have the closing stock, and I don't know why this part over here is, it's saying that the month is undefined, because we've passed in the month at this point. The next best thing we could have even done here is just do PDF is equal to, then we'll come in here and take this all the way till there, exit, and then just do PDF like this, call it like that. And then we'll come in here and just do function use. Now I see why they said use PDF like that. Then echo PDF stream, and then the name of the report like that. So inside this PDF load view, we have the opening stock, we have the closing stock, we have the total revenue. Will be now inside total revenue. I think the best thing would have been also to get the function of getting the revenue, right? So which will be function get revenue, or get total revenue, and total revenue will be what we are getting over here in terms of our total revenue over here. This stock value is equal to product inventory balance and multiplied by the purchase price. But then this time it will be the total revenue is equal to the sale total amount added all together. So we'll come in here and say total revenue for this particular month being equal to, or for each loop of the sale like this, and actually doing it like this. So we come in here, we paste this here. We'll start with total being equal to 0. Then for each cell is like that. If the month is equal to the month that is being passed through here, then the total here will be plus equals to sale total amount. Yeah, that's how we go about that. And then we end this loop like that. And then we return the total. So in short, if we were to get the total revenue of this particular month, if we go to the account summary area and we do, oh, not this one, but we go to the account summary inside our Livewire account summary. We have the opening stock here. We'll do another H1 over here. We'll just say total revenue. And then we have this closing stock with the month in check over here. So if we check the month over here and we do our get total revenue of that particular month, then it should be equivalent to what we're doing over here, right? If we change this, it changes. This and this are equal. Right, so those functions are very handy in terms of working out a few things here and there. And they're actually proving to be very handy. So if we come in here and just do a H1, and then we just do, maybe say something like opening. If we come back to our document over here, not this one, but one that we will download from here, and click on this, says unable to resolve dependency, required month in class. So yes, definitely, because we need our month to be passed in through there. So we'll go to accounts summary over here, and then we'll say inside download PL statement, we'll need to pass in the month. And now this month needs to also be inside the 2 quotes there. And this one will be the commas here. Because we're passing in a string, I realize that that is the main problem in that situation. So if I come in here, click on this, we have the report, and the report will be, the report is not returning anything. And is it because inside our account summary we've not saved anything? Oh no, this is our account summary. If we did this inside our profit loss, that's when we will get something. So I'm just going to click on this again, and yeah, we're there. We have that there. So we can actually now get this document generated from this button right there. What we're going to do here is we're passing in as many values as we can, all right? So inside our profit and loss statement, we're going to have our opening stock, our closing stock, our total revenue, our total purchases, our total sales. Sales is revenue. Purchases is what we've brought in and how much we've brought them in for. And then we will then evaluate from basis of that. Of course, we don't have any expenses to go by, but given that we have opening stock, closing stock, and in fact, we will go ahead and use this tool right here called ChatGPT. So given that we have opening stock, closing stock, total revenue, and total purchases, give me a structure for a HTML that I can use in a DOM PDF situation that will generate a P&L statement. And I'll say use Lexand in everything with a color scheme. And we'll use the color scheme of what we brought in over here, which was the from my SAS app.scss. And then we'll come and take this hashtag that, and then hashtag that. So we have this bit over here, and what I want to do here is we have the opening stock, we have the closing stock, we have the cost of goods sold, which is generally the opening stock and the closing stock subtracted. The opening stock and the closing stock subtracted. That's the cost of the goods sold. Then we have the sales revenue, then the gross profit. So opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock is the cost of goods sold. Sales revenue is the total number of sales. So gross profit is the sales revenue minus the cost of goods sold, which will get the gross profit, and then the net profit at the end is the gross profit minus all the expenses. There we go. So we'll come in here into this part over here, paste what it is that we've gotten. And then now we'll start working things out, okay? We'll start by dealing with. Date is actually preferred here, so I'll just come and do date. And then we'll have the opening stock, purchases, closing stock. So we have opening stock, we have the purchases, total purchases. Then we have the closing stock. Then we have the cost of goods sold, which is the opening stock minus the closing stock plus the total purchases, which is opening stock, the purchases, then minus the closing stock. Okay, we have that till there. Sales revenue is the total revenue passed in here. Then we have the gross profit, which is the sales revenue minus the cost of goods sold, which is the gross profit. So we'll come in here, total revenue minus, and then we'll put in the brackets over here, and we'll take all of this. And then net profit will just generally be this. So I'll just come in here and just do net profit. And now in getting the net profit, I'll just come in here and take this, put a PHP tag down here, because we're dealing with Blade after all. Then we'll come in here and say net profit is equal to that. And close it off with a semicolon. We don't have to, but we will. And yeah, I think that generally just sums everything up. So if we come in here inside our account summary model, our component, sorry, we'll come here and we pass in opening stock, closing stock, total revenue, total purchases, which is this. And then we'll say, okay, so total revenue is get total revenue with a month passed in. And then over here we'll say get total purchases for that particular month. And then the only thing that is not being passed in here for us to use, we have the total purchases, opening stock, closing stock, total revenue, and that's all that we need. Which is, yeah, I think that is everything done. So I'm just going to close this inside here. This account summary actually is not the one that's supposed to be. It's supposed to be here inside profit loss. And then when we come back here to account summary, we have purchases, revenue, closing stock, opening stock. This get total purchases is not a function, so we'll need to come in here and create it. So I'm just going to come in here, copy this, paste it here, and then we'll come in here and say for each purchase. And then and we'll just come in here and replace this. That's how we go about that. So the great thing about this generally is we're actually working around just getting purchases and sales through and through. And from that, we're able to calculate all these different things. So if I was to go ahead into our application right here and actually click on this, of course, we have this undefined variable date. We need a date. That's the only thing that we've not passed in through here. So we'll just need to come in here and pass in the date. So we have, and then we'll come in here and say carbon. We've already passed in the month, which is in a string format. And then we're going to come in here and say at the end of this particular month. So we'll come and say end of month then we format. And where we're going to format it is JSY, like so. And that will be the date. And I think at that point, I think we're good to go. So we'll just come in here and click on that. We've generated the report. And once we do that, you can see the profit and loss statement over here. So opening stock, purchases, closing stock, cost of goods sold, sales revenue, and stuff like that. So how do we get COGS? So it's opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock, which is fine. Then we have opening stock, the value of the inventory or the start of the accounting period. If the closing stock remains as the opening stock, it means that we've not sold anything. So if we look at this item over here, sales revenue 500,000. So what are we selling? We can't sell what we don't have, right? So in such a situation, our sales revenue shouldn't even be going up, but it has gone up because we had two items that we sold at this particular point. Oh, and again, I see where we may have gone wrong here. So we see getting closing stock, we need to not get it at the first of the month, but the end of the month. So this is first of month. This is add month, first of month. And this should actually be okay. So getting closing stock over here is not bad. It's over here that's the problem. So get closing. then get total revenue, then total purchases. So over here, we have opening stock, closing stock, revenue, and purchases. So essentially, our net profit here is not what it should be. It's not what it seems. If we go to our accounts summary, our profit loss statement again, we also need to do a few things here. So given that we're already giving this in amounts in Kenyan shillings, we just need to number format everything over here. So we'll just do number format, opening stock. We'll do number 2 over here. I'll just do that, the same thing here. And then we'll do number 2, close it. We'll do the same here. We'll do number 2, close. We'll do here. And then we'll do comma 2, close. And then we'll do the same here. Number 2, close. Do the same here. Then number 2. Then of course net profit will be here. Then for net profit, we'll do that here. Number 2, close. So now once we generate this document again, so you can see we have the opening stock, we have purchases, we don't have purchases, and we have our closing stock at 0. So the cost of goods sold here is 400,000, but we've sold these items at 500,000. So the gross profit here is 100,000, the net profit is 100,000. That's how this works. So in short, if I was to go through my entire system, I wouldn't find a single product that has a balance in the store. So we can come in here and just do inventory balance for these products. What we can do here is we'll add another column. We'll have to add another column, and that column will come inside our what is this, products list, so products index. And then we'll just come in here and just do inventory balance. And we'll just add another TD at the very bottom here. And then we'll come and do product inventory balance. So you can see they're all at 0, right? They're all at 0. So that's essentially how this system needs to be operating. That's essentially how this system needs to be operating. So let's say, for example, we wanted to get one for, we've changed the month, right? We've changed the month. So I'll go back to my overview over here. I changed the month to November, okay? Then I come in here and download the PL statement. This is what I'm getting. The opening stock is at negative, which is, of course, there's a bit of an issue with the system a little bit. Then the number of purchases we've done in November are amounting to this. Then the closing stock is amounting to this. So the cost of goods sold here is at this point, is at this amount. And these are all objectively on the cost of the goods in terms of purchases, okay? So when we make this amount in terms of purchases, and then we make this amount, and we subtract from the amount in terms of the sales based off of the purchase price, then we get the cost of the closing stock. The cost of goods sold here is at this amount. Then we have the sales revenue, okay? When we have this sales revenue right here, this is coming in from the total sales, and regardless of whatever price that we've done. So therefore, we have the gross profit over here like this, and the net profit over here like this. Mind you, we started at negative this. So it's a general assumption that we probably would have escaped a lot of debt at this particular point, and we've not included any expenses at this point here. So that is essentially what needs to be accounted for, and it looks good so far. It looks very, very good so far. So expenses would probably be like, HR system. You're using a certain amount of inventory and all that stuff. And yeah, that's how we go about these different things. Then we also have to have the accounts summary in terms of how we balance out in the end. So again, we'll ask chat, right? How do we do the accounts summary given purchases, sales and payments, and sales payments? So it tells us to create an account summary with available data: purchases, sales, purchase payments, and sales payments. You can organize it as follows. We have total sales, we have the sales payments received, outstanding receivables, and total purchases, purchase payments, outstanding payables, and etc. So this is the outstanding payables. Then we have the net cash flow, and then we have the sample calculation, and then the account structure in HTML. Okay. So given that the sales are at 100,000 and then the sales payments received for that particular month are at 80,000, then the purchases are at 60,000, but the purchase payments made at that particular month at 50,000. Then the outstanding receivables are at 20,000, outstanding payables are at 60,000. The net cash flow is at 80,000 minus 50,000, which is now at this point, net cash flow 80,000 minus 50,000, which is 30,000. Net cash flow means that, well, of course, we have the purchase payment, we have the sales payments received, right, which is money that has come in, and then purchase payments made, which is money that is going out. So net cash flow is the purchase payments minus the sales payments minus the purchase payments. And then we have the outstanding payables, which is the sales payments subtracted from the sales. So in terms of debt, there's people owing us 20,000, and then there's people we owe 10,000. That's how we go about that. Then we have the statement summary right here. So we're going to copy the statement summary right there, and we're going to go ahead and pull it off from this point here. We'll go into the account summary over here, paste it here. And this is what we're going to do. So this is just for the first level container where we have the account summary. And then after this account summary, we have to have another container that lists down the accounts, the DR and CR, and so on and so forth. Yeah. And I think we are good to go if we are able to pull this off. Again, we'll go to the profit and loss is done, is complete. We have the account summary again, and we have the download P&L statement. Before we even proceed on, we have this part over here where we have report.pdf. Instead of having report.pdf, we're going to have this month come in like this. I'm just going to come in here and get this, paste it here, remove the format and concatenate it to that. So I'm just going to come in here and say, oh, sorry, not here. The format will be, I'll just do J and M, then the Y, JMY, and then we'll come in here and say profit and loss. Or let's say MY profit and loss statement. We'll save it like that. And then we'll go ahead and do the same thing for the account summary. The account summary will run it exactly the same way. So we have our PDF over here being run like that. So I'll just come in here and paste it here. Yeah, here we have the account summary. And I don't know why HUD has just decided to restart like that. So we'll have account summary statement. Yeah, and these we'll customize just a bit later. Actually, in fact, we will have to do account summary. We'll close this account summary over here. We have the sales, we have the sales payments, we have the outstanding receivables, which is the sales payments minus the sales. So we'll come in here and just do total minus total, okay. And then we have the sales payments over here being this one, then this one. Then we have total purchases, which is like this, just do this, and then outstanding payables, which is definitely these two. So I'm just going to come in here and replace sale with purchase, and do that, and close that. And then we have net cash flow, which is definitely now the outstanding payables minus the outstanding receivables. So I'll just do a PHP function over here again. And then we'll say outstanding payables being equal to, then we'll just do this one, total, paste that there, put the comma, and then put the semicolon, sorry. And then we'll just come in here and paste this here. And we'll do the same thing for the sales. So outstanding receivables is equal to the total purchase payments minus the total sales. So this one becomes sale. And then we'll come and put the outstanding receivables here. And now once we've done that, the net cash flow is the outstanding receivables minus the outstanding payables, because whatever it is that we received, needs to be more than the what we are paying out. So I have purchases and purchase payments. So those are the two functions that we need to add inside here. So I have total purchases and I have total revenue. So we're going to come in here and just to get total purchase payments. So total sales for each sale payments. So if sale payment date, and I'm sure it's payment date, sale payment. It should be date, right? There's payment time. So it's usually a date time at this point. So payment time. So we're parsing it and then we're formatting it into being within the month. Then the total is equal to the payment total amount. It should be amount. Let's actually open it again. So we have the sales payments table, we have amount. So whatever has been paid in, as much as it's not been attached, payment, like that. So then say total purchase payments. Then we'll come in here and say the same thing as this. Just come and do a for each loop like that. Paste it like this. Then we'll say purchase. It's supposed to be purchase payment. We bring that in. And then we come in here and equate it to that payment amount, return the total, and that's that. Okay, so now when we come into the account summary, of course we have the date initially is instantiated, let's say. Then we have account summary. Let me do a H3 over here for the period, and then we'll say date. And then now once we go back to the account summary, we'll just go to account summary over here. We have date, and what we're going to pass in here is the date in month and year format. And then we're going to get rid of this end of month. Then we start with the total sales, which is supposed to be this get total revenue. Okay. Then we have the total sale payments. So total sales payments, which is supposed to be this get total sales payments. And then we're going to do total purchases and total purchase payments as well. So I'll just put this above, and then the one that comes in below, come in here and say this get come in here and say get total payments, like so, with a month passed in as well. Great. So if we tried to do this again also, I think we will be able to get somewhere. So let's actually try and press that button. And for the life of me, I hope it works. Well, of course, we have the required month in class. So that is inside our account summary over here. Then we see account summary like this. What I'm just going to come in here and do is copy this and leave it like this. So you come in here and download this undefined value opening stock. And I don't think we had any issue with opening stock at one point. So I don't understand why we need an opening stock. So total sales payments, purchases, purchase payments, account summary. We have it here for the period of date, which is okay. Total sales payments, outstanding receivables is like that. Purchases payments. This one should be purchase payments like that. Purchase payments. Sales payments is okay. And then we leave it like that. So then we have the totals over here, which is outstanding receivables minus outstanding pay. And that's how we finish it off. So now if you are ready, I think at this point we have the download account summary. And so it says undefined variable opening stock, which is inside profit loss.blade. So, but I think the reason why that is the case is because inside here, inside download account summary, we decided to do profit loss instead of account summary. Yeah, now we're ready. So you can see total purchases payments is the one that is bringing an issue. So if we come into our account summary over here, not this one, but this one, where we replaced purchases payments, we need to be this here. And yeah, I think we're good to go. So account summary. Let's see what happens. So you can see the account summary is here, and we have net cash flow right there. So inside the document itself is where now we're going to come and do the number formatting, and the number format is over here somewhere. So just do number format, comma 2, close. We'll do the same here, comma 2, close. We'll do it here as well, comma 2, close. Do it here as well, then comma 2, close. We have our sales payments here, and I think that should be it. I think that's everything. Great. So now if we begin to check this again, okay, account summary, boom. So we have the amounts here in Kenyan shillings. 500,000 total sales payment received from the previous month, of course, outstanding receivables, then total purchases, purchase payments, outstanding payables, and so on and so forth. So we have the net cash flow being that for this particular month. And yeah, I think we're good to go on that front. I think the background being this was a bit much. So let's try again. Yeah, we're good to go. And at least everything in terms of even the font that we brought in is working. We can do this background color, remove background. This one we would remove. In fact, the border color, we would have probably made it this color. So we'll have just said that this one here would have been like this. Then we have the H1 over here. The H1 is the color is the one that has changed to this. So we'll just do that, and then the totals over here, we would have done the bluest of, yeah, and then the color over here for this TH, once the background color is like that, I'll have done this F2, TH right there, and then we switch places between these two. So given that this is the color that I want to get rid of, I think this would have been better. So I'm just going to download the summary again. Yeah. Boom. But our net profits and whatnot as totals. So background color is like this. In fact, I think background color should be like this. So now once we do that, account summary again, you can definitely see we are there. We are actually there. Ladies and gentlemen, things are looking toasty. Things are looking very toasty. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the two documents that are generally going to be used in order to evaluate things. So we have the account summary, and we also have the profit and loss statement, which is here. Looking nice, looking very good. Okay, so inside our account summary, I think the one thing that I needed to change here, so I'll just get rid of this, get rid of account summary, go to profit loss, so that the theme follows the same things. So we'll go to views, we'll go to layouts, we'll go to our, not layouts, but Livewire, not even Livewire, we'll go to PDF, and then we go to profit loss, and then where it is that we have the table, the background color is okay. I think the background color for the TH needs to change to this one, and then the totals also need to change to this one. And then where we have the CCs need to change to this color here. That one here also needs to change. And yeah, just like that, I think we're good to go. So I think we'll just generate this profit and loss statement one last time. We see what happens. Yeah, yes. So we're looking good. It's looking very good. Great. So I think that's a generality at this point. And we're looking very toasty. We're settled in. I think right now, where we are at right now, we're good to also now start generating some graphs. So let's actually try and generate a few graphs here and there. We'll start by doing, well, of course we have our sales count. Our sales count is okay. Our stock value is not okay at the moment because, to get stock value, if we're going to go back to our account summary component right now, let's go to app, Livewire, account summary component, and then we have our account summary over here function, download account summary, which is fine, it works. We have our download PL statement, which works, and then we get our total purchase payments, which is okay, it works, total sales payments, total purchases, then total revenue, then we have get closing stock, and then we also have opening stock. This is okay. From those documents, what else could I generate? So you can get a balance sheet which summarizes assets, liabilities, and equities at a specific point in time. You have cash flow statements, which is generally the account summary right there. The trial balance, the accounts receivables, the accounts payables, the break-even analysis, the invoice documents, the receipt documents, the expense reports. So in receipt and invoices were done. Expense reports were already good in terms of we are not having any expenses. Then we have break-even analysis, which calculates the sales volume required to cover costs. And yeah, I don't think we really need to generate those documents just yet. But if you want to, you've seen how we go about it. You can see what it is that we need to do. We can see even HR and payroll documents have also been included in this. Those are things that are later adjustments that can be added onto this particular project. So the only thing that we need to do right now is actually go ahead and do the summaries themselves. So what I would generally do here is, instead of having this account summaries here, and I have a dashboard over here that actually I can do a lot of things with, right? In my account summaries component over here, where I have run everything, this is what I would have generally done. So this instance is equal to this get month. Then we have total revenue, revenue deviation, revenue previous. So total revenue. So we've been given a particular month, right? So I'll come in here and just do total revenue is equal to get total revenue with this month. Then we have revenue deviation, which is the revenue and then the revenue previous. So I'll maybe say this instance, okay? And then after getting this instance, I'll format it into YM like that. Then revenue deviation or revenue previous. We'll just do revenue previous being equal to this get total revenue. I'll do this get total revenue with this instance sub. I think that is where the problem was. Instead of sub month, I was doing add month. It should be sub month and then format YM like so. And then we have revenue deviation, which is generally this total revenue subtracted from the revenue previous, then divided by this total revenue. So everything that is inside here up till there is useless because we've created those functions that are running everything for us. Great. So what we just need to now check out here is if this function actually works. So if I come in here and do this, you can see a negative is there. Negative is there. Ooh. So you can see 100% compared to last month. This division by 0 is the one that is on the front foot of everything. I will probably say that it's useful up till this point. In fact, I'll just get till there and then delete all the way till here. And then whatever it is that is inside here becomes the function also for our mount function up until then get rid of this. Then we have total revenue, revenue previous, revenue deviation, and everything else that follows after. So in December 2024, we have this as our total revenue, which doesn't sound right because I see as though we have this being added onto that. So whatever it is that is here for total revenue, I get rid of it. Then we have our revenue deviation over here. So meaning that this part over here goes. And this makes things a bit more simpler because this is a double check. Our values are good to go. Our mount function is good. It's solid. So the only thing that we do not have here is the stock value, which is it's all right. Oh no, stock value should be 0 actually. Yeah, stock value should be 0. I don't understand why I was so adamant on thinking that the stock value in this situation would be something else. Stock value here should definitely have been 0. Yeah. But we don't even need the stock value anymore. So we'll go here where we have our stock value, current stock value, current stock evaluation. I'm just going to come in here and get rid of that. We have our sales count. We have our total revenue. We don't need our sales count at this point, right? And then also what we need to do here is maybe we'll just do, instead of a column MD4, we'll do a column MD7, make it bigger. Then this part for the generation of these documents, I'm going to get rid of that. So I'm just going to come in here and do a column MD5. So after the column MD7, we'll put a column MD5 right down here. So I'll just do column MD5, column 12, card BG INV primary. Then over here, card text INV secondary. And yeah, we're good to go. Then when we do this BTN, we'll just do BTN secondary. I think it is better to do it like that. And we'll do it for the second part as well. Now, the only thing that we probably need to do here is we'll come in here and change the month. The month is October. If we come and do our P&L statement, that is when we can be able to see our October P&L statement. So this generally already works. What we'll just come in here and do, we'll just do a class of form control and a BG of INV secondary, and we will put this inside a form group with an MB of 3. So when we refresh that, we have our December, our selection is over here. And instead of doing it like this, I think it would even been better if we did it, I don't know, maybe instead of form group, we'll just do a deflex. Even the deflex is not working, so, but it's a big selection over here. So I think best thing I would have done is to put it the same manner that I put it inside the dashboard over here. So I had this part over here, we have the row, the column, then we have another row down here with the cards and all that stuff. But within this dashboard, we have a selection for the I'm forgetting the name of this thing. Selection of the month, and I can't quite see it. Okay, so our account summary so far is looking good. I think this part for selecting the month, I think will remain just there and just like that. So now at this point is where we can be able to get rid of this, and now is where we start drawing up the graph. So in order for us to draw up the graph, and I think my camera is offset at the moment, probably better at this point. So given that we know how to generate this graph now, we can go back to here and now go back to continuing to install this part over here. So we'll come in here, insert Livewire charts, install. We've installed them. And then upon installing them, of course, now we're told requirements is Laravel Livewire version 3 and ApexCharts. And now we're told, note, at the moment, ApexCharts is only supported for drawing charts, right? Which is fine. So the usage, how do we use this? So for example, to render a column chart, we can create an instance of column chart model and add some extra data into it. So we'll start with this column chart, right? So we'll start it like that. And then trying to think about how it goes ahead and does this. So I'm just going to come in here and just do column chart model is equal to new column chart model, and we're just going to come in here and bring it in through that. And of course we have the set title, add column, add column, add column. Then we return the view like so, and then the data will be the column chart model being like this with this column chart model. Then once we've passed in that data like that, we can go into our account summary right here. Then we try and do it like that. So we'll go into, we have to pass this in Livewire chart scripts and Livewire scripts like this. So we have Livewire charts scripts going into our Livewire, our layouts app. And then we'll go and put it just underneath our Livewire scripts. And it should be somewhere here. So Livewire scripts, Livewire chart scripts, like that. Then we'll come in here where we have our account summary over here. Then we'll come and bring in this Livewire column chart with this column chart model like so. Because I'm going to get rid of this, which is a reactive key. And yeah, essentially we should be able to see things. So you can see these charts are working just fine, which is okay. And I can see by the stance of this in particular, it looks like stretching this thing is not an option. I don't know if we have the height function there, but we can move on. We can continuously move on. We can see enabling interactions is there. This is using ApexCharts, the same charts that are being used inside our situation over here. So what do we need to do essentially to change this to behave like this? Well, class bg inv, then we'll do secondary. We'll go back to our overview. We see what happens. There's nothing that has happened just yet. And I think we're still okay in terms of running this. So what other items could we use in terms of generating this? So we can come in here and see that we can do our pie charts, we can do our column charts, we can do other stuff. We can do line chart, column chart, we can do a multi-line chart, we can do a pie chart model, we can do an area chart model, a radar chart model. I think even doing an area chart would be the best thing. So let's try do an area chart. And in terms of this account summary, let's actually ask this, what could we do? So we can do a revenue and expenses over time. So we can actually sort out the whole issue of months. And here we'll just do like maybe say for the last 5 months. So we'll just do carbon period, create. I keep on forgetting how to use carbon period. How do we use carbon or any other carbon related class in Laravel to get the last data from the last 5 months in an array? And then we will go ahead and so we can get carbon period, yes, and then we'll say carbon period create now sub 5 months, 1 month now. So yeah, and use this here. So now we have the carbon period create from 5 months till now for every single month. Last 5 months is equal to period map function, and we are formatting it into date. I'll do this ym then to array. Yeah, and then we return the view. No, we don't really need to return the view just yet. Actually, in fact, function, we'll do a function over here. We'll say get sales chart. Okay. And then in order for us to get the sales chart, of course, now is carbon now. Then the period is carbon period created from 5 months ago till now. Then the last 5 months, what we will do is return all those 5 months into an array. And then after we've returned those 5 months into an array, we will do what? Actually, yeah. Let's actually test if this function is okay, because I'm seeing that this to array is being underlined, and I'm wondering why is it being underlined. I'll just do return get sales chart. And let's go back here and we see the sales chart. So undefined moderator generate to array is refusing. So that's it. Let's see what happens. So we have the carbon period map is not working. So it says execute a given function on each date of the period and yield the result of this function. Then when you say create, what are the parameters creating this new instance? Okay, you know what? We'll have to check out the carbon period. We can see this. Yes, Laravel daily is doing the thing. So you can see the start period, the end period, hours is here. So for each period as date. I hope the format function works. Yeah, it works. So date format, and then we'll just do y-m. And that's the bottom line. And we'll just tie down per month. And that should work very easily, honestly. Yeah, you can see. But this array only has one item, 2407. now. So the only issue here is, yes, we've passed it. We've subtracted the months. Over here 1 hour. Here I've done 1 month. Now we've created that period, and then we've reiterated for each of those periods. How about we do an array push instead? So I'll do an array, and then we'll take the array, which is months, be equal to the date format, like that as the value. And then yeah, we dump those values right now. Okay, so now let's just reload this thing. At least now we know that there's a certain limit to what it is that we can do here. Now, when we go ahead and create this chart, and what the GPT had told us is that we can do our sales over time, so revenue and expenses over time. So we can do revenue over time, and this one can be a line chart or an area chart. So we can come in here and say area chart is equal to new area chart model. Okay, coming in from there. And then for each month, yeah. So for each month as month, for every month, what we will do is so we'll plot it down the same way we plotted the line chart. So let's go back to the pie chart. We have the area chart. So area chart is add point, okay, and then we have the title. The title here would be the month. Actually, in fact, you might even find that at this point here, we'll have the add point over here where it would be the period. The title here would be the period. Then we format. So over here, instead of months, we'll just do period as month. We'll just do period format. And then we'll come in here and do FY. And then outside that, we have the value. Value would be, at this point, since we're doing area, the value would be the revenue. So get the total revenue. So I'll just do this, get total revenue for this month. So this will be period. And then we'll get the format. And this time we'll format it as Y-M. So that's how we'll go about that. And boom. I think we're good to go. And yeah, I think at this point we're good to go. I think at this point we can return area chart. Then when we come here into Livewire area chart, right? So we have Livewire area chart like this. So if we come in here inside our account summary and then we put it inside here, we'll come in here and say Livewire area chart, and then we'll say area. So area chart model will be equal to, we'll pass it like this, and then we'll say this get area chart. So inside the account summary, we have this get sales chart actually. So we'll come in here and just do get sales chart, and we might be good to go at this point. So it's saying method format does not exist. So that might be that our carbon period brought in over here is not the right carbon period model that needed to be brought in. So I have carbon period. Maybe we just need to do to date string. Now will be to date string as well. It says method format does not exist. And where is it coming from? This area chart add point period format. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come in here, comment this out, and then we'll say return period over here. Because I can get that this works by saying that unknown method does not exist. Method with does not exist. That's a toasty situation right there. But now if I come in here and say this return get sales chart, returning the period is not an option because the method does not exist. So what is actually going on? Because this is a real function, right? Create is a real function. So what's happening here? We have already passed in the right parameters. And flow months, let's see, flow months, decision one. Still doesn't work. So what's actually happening here? We'll use this instance and this instance here. Great. What if we used new carbon period like this with the arguments like this? This thing is pissing me off. It's really pissing me off. I don't understand why it's behaving like this. How about we use the since operator? So we'll just do the since, and then we'll come and set the date over here. This instance sub months 5. Then we'll say according to this format, we'll come in here and say months, and 1. We'll come and set a value called until, and then until, of course, this instance. Then for each period as date, actually we'll do this. We'll just try the period map again. So we'll just do months is equal to period, and then it will take in a function where the callback function that will pass in here is the month, and then we'll pass in this return month format y-m. Then we'll have to pass in an array, and then of course we return, or we dd the months, die dump the months. We could die dump the months and then let it run, but I'm so certain that something in me is just telling me that this function will refuse. So we have this, and then we've traced the period map over here. For each of these dates as closed false, we're looking at, and I don't know which other functions can, work here. We've returned the format of the month being this. What if we did for each period? Then we'll just come in here and just do an array push, and we'll say months being equal to month format y-m, like that, and we'll save that. We'll just come in here and start months being equal to an empty array, and then we attempt to show the months, but it's only having 1 from 2004-06. Oh, that's what happened. Okay, so check this out, yeah? We'll start by saying that now is equal to carbon, or carbon now. Then we'll come in here and say now sub 5 months. Okay, so we have all those. So what if we started saying that this instance is the now? We'll go back to this point here. And that's because this instance is always going to be, the starting point will be this instance, sub 5 months. So we'll start with end, and then we'll go to start. So end and start, and then we'll come in here and just do end, and then we'll come in here and just do start. Refresh, nothing. Why is this one saying 17/6/2024, and this one is also saying 17/6/2024? There's something wrong with this instance, and I'm not understanding what the problem is with this. Because this instance, when we started, it's starting at carbon now. So we'll come in here, maybe even come and say carbon now, okay? And then over here, at the start of this, we'll come and say carbon, or we'll come and say end sub months. So if we come and say that, we still have this 2 as, doesn't make any sense. But if we passed this as carbon now, we have 12 here and we have 7 here. So it's like this function is passing it through the end, and whatever it is that was here is not being stored as that anymore. It's actually running the function the way we would expect it to run the function. So you can see this is 17/7. Is 1712. So I'll come in here and just do date is equal to this instance to date string. Now over here at end, we'll come in here and say carbon parse, and then we'll carbon parse date, and then the start will be end sub 5 months. If we do that, we have both of them still saying 6, and in the process we still have one date being brought through. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to run the carbon pass date again, then sub the 6 months. And if I do that, nothing is passing through. Which is so interesting. This is the most interesting the situation has gotten. Okay. Yeah, so the problem here was probably this start and end situation. Because of course start needs to be before end. Yeah. So let's go back here. And then we do this. We return the area chart. We don't have any data whatsoever. But if we go back now to the account summary and uncomment this, we're not dealing months, but we are injecting it into this. Of course, method format does not exist. So we'll come in here and just do area chart model being equal to get sales. And then when we go back here, and then this will be area chart model, which is a variable. Okay, so if we run this here, I think that would be the better situation. Then we'll come in here and say return area chart and then get rid of this. But still the method does not exist. Method format does not exist. So I'm not comfortable with these kinds of functions really, because if they're not working, they're not working. That's the truth. For each month as month, here I'm just going to come in here and do month. Title is the month. And then the value will be get total revenue, and I'll just come in here and just, and yeah, we have this area chart right here. Can we number format it? I think so. No, we can't. Revenue here, revenue here, revenue here. Of course, now this whole situation is good, but the height is not so fantastic actually. So looking at the previous project that I used to use this, there was a place where we'd set the height, and the height would probably be set. Now I'm going to go to resources, I'll go to views, and I'll go to Livewire admin dashboard. And inside the admin dashboard of this one is where I would set the graph itself. So graph was here. And then you can see the div over here is height 25 rem. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to come in here, row, then with this column, or rather with this entirety, just going to come in here and do style of height 25 rem. Let's see what happens. And yeah, I think we're good to go. Now I want to format, you can see the box, I can see these numbers, and I want to format those numbers. So I want to see if inside our Livewire charts we can actually format those numbers. So let's look at the area chart. You can see the string, the title, the value, and then any extras. So these extras are all based off of a possibility of the styling, I believe. So you can see chart components must be placed inside a container with a fixed height, and this is because the chart will use the given vertical space. Or you use all the given vertical space. A fixed height is needed to render properly. So you can see 32 RAM is put over there. There's no place where we can put a formatter. So you can see you can even pass down simple JS functions. For example, for formatting, you can pass down your own closure. And yeah, so you can see set JSON config is over here. So let's try this. Let's actually try to do that. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to pass it here. Area chart, set JSON config, and then you can see tooltip Y formatter, value is this $1 million baby. So you can see if I come back here, let's actually check this out. Yep, there we are. So it's doing $2, and this is just for the value itself. So instead of $, we'll just do a KES, and then we'll just keep it like that. And yeah. So how do we format now this part over here in JavaScript? If that is this case, then we can just come in here and do that. Val to local string. Let's try and see what happens there. And boom, it's actually separated with commas. So you can see we're here, we're there, yeah. So anything here, this, and then this title, I think it being a month like this, I think we should have used it as a carbon parse and then format. And then what we'll do, format, and then we'll just do a YM. Not YM, but FY, like that. So we have May 2024, nothing, June 2024, July, August, September, October, November, right there. Great. So I think the graph speaks for itself. The next thing that I would probably do here is I will go back to my account summary.blade. Now that we have this height of 25 rems, I will put a card. And then this card will be the similar card to what we have here in the dashboard here. So we have the card being BGINV like this, like this, like that. So I'll come in here and I'll copy this entire card, paste it inside here. Okay. And then after doing so, I will come here and paste this and let's see what happens. And I'll get rid of this, of course. Boom. And now we have our item over here. So of course, style. Maybe I remove it so we can see what happens. Yeah. And now we have our sales and purchase summary that we intended to do in the first page in the first place. So we can see, yeah, there we go. September we did 507, 948. October 832 to 20. November 122, 759. You can see it renders so quickly. It doesn't even waste time. So there's no long loading process in these particular situations. Then if you look at this dashboard here, this one here, we can actually edit it to use this. You can actually edit it to use these ones in particular, these kinds of lines in particular, because this in essence, this one was using a sales purchase chart, which is indeed this sales purchase chart is a new purchase chart taking in sales purchases, which was what kind of chart? It was an area chart. Well, we'll have done the toolbar show is false. So here, instead of toolbar show false, you can see we have tooltip Y formatter is set to true, and tooltip is coming in from here, tooltip over here. So we will start from here. Yeah, we have the chart, we have the series, we have the chart itself, we have the legend. So we can come in here and say legend show to be true. So we'll come here into the account summary, and then down here we'll come here and say, legend dot show like that, and then we'll come here and say true. So now if we go back to our overview, well, it's not there yet. I don't know why it's not showing the legend, because no, but even this one, I wanted it to show this legend, but the legend over here is already showing, yet it's already saying false. So this one might not be working. So if we look at this one over here, we can come in here and do colors and pass this in as an array inside that. So we come here and say colors, and then we'll pass this in as an array like so. And then we can see inside our overview, we could pass it in like this also. We actually don't need this anymore. We actually are at a point where we are almost there. We are almost there, ladies and gentlemen. We are almost there. Actually, we could pass it in like this and close it off like that. Maybe that would work. But I want these lines to change color, so I don't understand what's going to happen here. Unless we'll try this, we'll open the dashboard to the side. We see what is the real deal. So you can see I've set the colors over here. If we look into our dashboard here, this is the 336699. This is the other. But given we have one color, then this should be the only color that should be showing. So if I try and do colors, then I should be passing in one value only. Let's try it with that one. So if I go back to overview, nothing is being passed there. Nothing is being passed there. So this color is not budging. This color is definitely not budging. So let's actually check out what happens here to set the JSON config. Let's see what happens if I come in here and take area chart, set color. Of course. That was what it was. That's what it was. So get rid of this right now. Then we set the colors. The color will be now the hashtag 336699. And we are good. Now our chart looks good. Area chart set animated. Let's try ease in. I think ease in is animated. Should be ease in. Yeah, ease in is working. What about ease in out? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we're working. We're actually pulling things off. We're pulling. And there's another thing that I needed to do is now the area chart. Then we'll come in and say set smooth curve. Yeah, okay. I think we're good. So looks like this, and what we have here are almost similar, right? They're almost similar. The next thing that we also need to check out is the x-axis format. So we have the tooltip Y formatter, which puts in now these values over here. I have the Y formatter right there. And then we also want to do the same thing for the X. And then we'll come in here and say format, where the value would be the, yeah, like that. Maybe like that. This X axis, I wanted to change values because you see in this kind of tooltip over here where I've put in the X values. Oh, and these are the Y values actually. These are the Y values. So if I come in here and do format like that, yeah. So this one is Y formatter. So X is not changing. X is not changing over here either. So if I wanted to change the X axis, I can actually even set grid visible. Smooth curve is done. Stroke width is here as well. Theme mode, theme palette, title. Actually, you know what? I think I'm done. I think I'm good enough. What I've done here is actually quite okay. It's good enough for everything. So we have total revenue set up over here. We have generation of documents over here, which is fine. Yeah. And I think we can actually move on. I mean, if I come in here and did, you can see this is the one that's changing. This one still remains February and all. You can see they're all on zeros, and it also reflects on how well this. And yeah, and we're moving very well actually. This is actually very in order. So this is just sales, and this is just sales for now. Now we have the purchases. So if we wanted to add a point for the purchases, we come in here and say get total purchases for this particular month. Do we have a set colors function? We have set colors, and then we can pass in the colors array over here. And this would be the other one, F29, F67. Let's see what happens here. So this one will be dot, and this one down here will be dot purchases. But it looks like this one here, adding this point. So I want to do multiple areas under one line. So if I wanted to do that, what would have happened? Maybe I should pass here an array of the total sales and the total purchases. Sales and purchases. Whatever. No, that doesn't work. So how do we do multiple lines? Now that's another thing. Like, how do we add multiple lines under this Livewire charts? There should be more. Or maybe we should use this Livewire line chart. I think that will be better, right? Use the line chart. Just use the line chart model. Here will be set colors. And then colors would be 336699 like this. We'll say add series points. Then we'll say the series name, series name, title, value. We have series, title, and value. So I'll come in here and just do, and then value over here. Now it needs a series name. And now this series name will be sales and purchases. Over here we'll just do purchases now. And then when we do purchases here, we will come and change this from get total revenue to get total purchases. Now it says that, must be of type area chart model. Yeah. I understand what I've done. So I have line chart model over here. So if we come back here, we have to do line chart, where we have line chart model here. Then when we go back here, and what else? What else am I missing? Set animated, ease in, set smooth curve, set colors. We're good up till there. Till that point I'm okay. And then set the value of the Y tip formatter. Everything is okay. So what's going on here? So adding the series point. If we did point, title sales, and then commented this out, this would work very well. This is actually showing quite well exactly what I wanted. But now this is all over the place. You see sales, purchases, sales, purchases, sales, purchases. What if we added series? Because you can see this is a series where we have the name and the data. So I don't know. Maybe I'm being a bit too. Add series point. Oh, I think I know what is going on. Series point. The value needs to be an array. But I don't know. I honestly don't know how to go about this because we were so close. We've gotten so damn close. We're so damn close. You can see multi-column and multi-line. We have area chart. Chart models can also be created using the Livewire charts facade. Yes. Okay. Livewire charts. Then we have multi-column, multi-line chart model. Then we have this add series point where we have the series name, title, value, and the extras. These values are not what I need. Get that out. And we have 2 lines. Yay! Now change area chart to line. Then line chart model over here. Line chart model. Boom. We have 2 lines. Just like this one, except this one has area, right? This one has area. So what would happen if over here where we set the JSON configuration, we came here and set chart type to area? Yeah, big problem. We can do set data labels enabled, which is what I put over here. So that's another one. So data labels enabled is supposed to take in a Boolean value. Then what else? Stroke set smooth curve is done. Then axis, the type is datetime. X-axis type is datetime. And categories is datetime in the format of that. What about if we set y axis? So line chart model, set y axis visible. We can actually do this and set it as false, and this part is not visible whatsoever. And these are the parts that show. Yeah, so we have it here. Our purchases and our sales for this particular time. Looking good, people. Looking very good. All right. So I think that's it. That's set and done. We've already done the graphs. We've already done the PL statements. I've done the account summaries. Account summary, when we download it, and boom. You can see the account summary there. Total sales payments received, outstanding receivables is there. So this is outstanding receivables, given that this is what is being paid. This is what is being paid. This is the total sales. So outstanding is this much for this particular period. But we also need to account for the amount that has not been paid. So that is also something else that we will still be working on, because you see, if we look at the outstanding, so we'll need to come in here and look at the purchase payments and the sales payments. We'll also need to look at total unpaid sales. But this is all about cash flow, generally. This is generally about cash flow. So if you guys have any other suggestions on any other documents that I should be working on generating, then yeah, proceed on to let me know. And now what I'll just do here is, because we don't need this overview here, what I'll use this for, the account summary will now become my new dashboard, right? So what I'll do here is I will go to my routes, my sidebar navigation. And what I'll do is I will drag this part over here for the accounting and inventory. We have this overview part, and we have the purchases part. So this whole end if manage products and manage purchases should also be there. So I'll just come in here and take these lines of end if and if. I'll do that. And then this part for the managing of the products, I'll come in here and put this here. And then I'll come here and do manage purchases, and we'll definitely have a new column down here. All right. Then we'll take this one, cut it from here, put it at the dashboard level, and then we'll come in here and say this is the dashboard. Or we'll come here, we'll save this, we'll level it out like this. And then when we come here to the routes web.php, we will definitely go all the way till our point over here where we have our dashboard, and then change this from dashboard to account summary. And now we have things playing. We're actually now playing the game. What we could have otherwise just done is we'll go to our account summary here, copy everything, paste it here. Then the only thing we're going to come in here and change is return view admin dashboard. Okay. And then we would come here, up here, all the way up here, change class to dashboard, and that's that. Okay. Then the next thing we go ahead and do is going back to our dashboard over here. Everything that we have here, we copy and we paste here. Then when we go now to our routes, we can declassify this one and just go back to having this as the dashboard. We classify this one, we put it in comments, and then we just have our admin dashboard just like that. And everything just works just fine. So we have the total revenue, which is fine. If we want to change months, we can change months. And you can definitely see that everything is working hand in hand with, like if we look at our function for getting the sales chart inside our dashboard, yeah, we're using this particular instance. And what we could have just done here is we could have just taken this date, okay? And then we would have gotten rid of this. And then what we do here inside get sales chart, we will have passed in this instance or this month. That way we have till December. But now this is going to be responsive to, well, it's not responding to our, so I'll just come in here, just do public sales chart is equal to this get sales chart, and then we pass in the, not even public, it shouldn't be public, sales chart is equal to this get sales chart with the updated month. So I'll come in here and say this, because we've updated the month, this month should be just fine. And then we'll come in here, we create a sales chart variable, and we are golden. So now we come back here down, and we have this line chart model, get rid of that. We'll go back to the dashboard, and then we'll come in here and say sales chart, which is being passed in from this point here, the very beginning, sales chart, which is very clever. In fact, I'll say this is very clever. So sales chart, this sales chart is get sales chart this month, and I'll put this also in the mount function, because if I come in here and reload this, you can see line chart model null given is the situation. If I come to dashboard, over here line chart model should be sales chart. If I go to my dashboard here, inside my mount function, I don't have anything to do with the sales chart because it is null. Right. Then you can see property type not supported for in Livewire property is multi-line true, data, sales, series name sales, what. So how am I going to pass this? So it's synthesizing a bit of a problem. So I'll just go back to the way it was before. And also this one will go back to the way it was before. And given that we were getting all the way till December, I think the best thing we'll have done here is go back to this part over here, get sales chart, add the date, get rid of the date right here, then pass in this instance, or rather this month. So we'll just come in here and do a done over there. And then at the very top, I want to put a listener. So I'll come in here and do a protected listeners, and I will come in here and say done to render, and boom, I think that will be golden. Okay, so what happens if I change this? Will it change with the tide? Not really, but it works regardless. So I think the whole point of this whole return value is that I come in here, just do line chart model, and then I will take this, copy it and put it up here, paste the get sales for this month, and if I switch, looks like nothing is changing. But I like this. I like that this is working and everything looks as smooth as possible. A lot of all these things I'll still work on, like in the long run. If I come to dashboard, I think everything is good. I think everything so far is at a point where I am comfortable to say that now I can leave this application. Maybe I can even do a column md8 dot column 12 and paste this card there, and then inside row I just do justify content center. I could leave it like this. I could stop that and just put it like this. The minimum height of 500, maybe even 600 would be enough. We could do it at 32 rem, which is perfect. Yeah, 32 rem, perfect. This is the perfect one. And yeah, I think we're good to go. I think at this point, everything is set. So we also have roles, we have users, banks, clients, suppliers. The only thing that we've not done here is the credit notes and the delivery notes, of which it's pretty much straightforward. So that's just that. I think what I want to do now here, because we've already incorporated payments, we've already incorporated, the dashboard situation and designed it very well the way we need it to be. We're at a point where we can generate the documents. So now we say generate documents. On this point for generate documents, we wanted to say generate documents for a particular month. So like, let's say generate documents for, and then I'll come here and say the month. So I'll come here and say month, and maybe carbon parse it. So carbon/carbon parse, and then we'll come in here and just do a format, and this format will be a what? FY, generate documents for December 2024. So if I come in here and change this, so I'll come here and change to November 2024, probably change this to October 2024. And here's another thing that we could probably have done. Instead of even just doing line chart model like this, maybe coming here and doing this get sales chart with a month passed in here was not a bad idea, right? So such that if I come in here and change to November, change here to January, but the getting of the sales chart is not changing, so there's no need. So this is fine. And I think we are done with this project so far. And getting all the data in terms of sales and purchases, we can add or incorporate expenses if we want to. We can subtract all these different things if we want to. And again, that's something that is probably an improvement for the future. As you can see, our December total compared to last month, as you can see, it is there. So if we come in here, you can see we have, a thing I probably want to do here is an infinity function, where if this thing is 0, if revenue deviation is 0, then it's infinity. But nah, I think this is fine. This is just fine. So if I come in here and do those two comparisons, there, we are good with that one. We're good with this one, and we're good with this one. So as you can see, this is 100%, and this one is 0. Yeah, I think we're good to go. In fact, I think even just doing 2 decimal places is a bit of a stretch. So let me just leave it like this. And now we're done, ladies and gentlemen. Everything is looking good. Everything is perfect. I feel good. I feel good about this application. This can be used. This can actually be used. If I want to do Account summary, P&L statement, I can get them. If I want to do different kinds of roles, checking products, I'm happy with with where we've reached, and this is looking quite fine. With where we've reached, we can actually do credit notes and delivery notes at different times. We've already seen how we have operated with invoices. Invoices is working. We can operate with quotations or orders. We can do that. I've not added the quotations route. I don't understand. Can't manage quotations. What? Can't manage quotations? Go back. If we go to our roles list, we can see that we don't have our management of quotations here. So if I come in here and I deal with quotations like this, so I know we have the quotation routes. So all I just need to do here is go to app, go to the model, go to the config, go to the, where is this? Go to the permissions, and I don't have my quotations over here. So I'll just come in here where invoices is. I'll just come in here and say manage quotations. And now if I come in here and refresh this, I'll come in here. I have this button over here for updating. I'll come and update these roles. I've updated them. And now once I've updated them, I'll be able to refresh this again. I should be able to see my quotations here. So quotations list. So if I want to create a quotation, of course, again, we have to go back to the product list group. We're almost done, ladies and gentlemen. We're almost done. So we come to resources, views, we go to Livewire, we go to products, purchase payments. What am I saying? Quotations. And then we go to the create. I think the create is where we have our product list group here. Instead of product list group, it should be list item. And then when we go to the client over here, this one should be X client list item with the quotation being the main story over here. So the way I edited invoices was for the clients still. So I'll just come in here and just take this here, paste it here. Instead of invoice, I'll just do quotation. And then over here we have the product list item. That's fine. So if I come in here and refresh, you can see the clients over here. If I click on this, so on and so forth. Now, the thing that I also did as a function for our sales and our purchases is there's this sales create part where if I select a client, right, then let me see, select a client. If I select a client, then even the search takes the name and just puts it there. So was it in create of the product or it was create purchase? Should be create purchase. Select supplier, this purchase supplier ID or sales, select client. Ideally what I want is if I click on this, then the client search should already automatically update with this. So what I'm going to do here is, now because we're in the quotation side of things, I'm going to try it with the quotations first. So we'll go to quotations, create, and then where we have our select select client, we have this quotation client ID. Then we'll come in here and say this client search is equal to this quotation client name, and we'll stop there. And so now if I come in here and select this guy, that's what happens. So that's exactly what we're going to do with this. So client create, we'll come in here into this select client on this side. We'll put client, we'll put this over there. We'll pass this also inside the edit of sales where we have select supplier or sales select client. So this sale client name, right? And then we'll do the same thing inside our create. So I'll just come in here, copy this, come into our create, look for the place where we have select client, paste it there, save that. We have our purchases where we have our supplier, select supplier. And I'm just going to come in here, paste this, but then instead of client search, it should be supplier search. And then this one should be this purchase supplier name, just like that. So I'll copy this. Now because we're in the create, we'll go to the edit. Inside the edit, we will go into our select supplier, paste that there, and that will be fine. Then the next thing we need to do, because we've done quotations, purchases, sales, next thing we need to do is invoicing. So invoices should be somewhere here. Boom. Invoices. So it come to the create. And what we're going to be pasting inside the select client is like this one for the quotation, except this one will be invoice and then client name. So I'll just come in here, copy this, paste it inside edit. We'll come in here, select client. Yeah. So all of those are done, and I'm just going to close all. So invoices is done, purchases is done, quotations, sales. We have sales payments, which should have had that inside the select. So select client. You can see this client search is equal to client find ID name. Essentially, this should just be this sale payment client names, this sale payment client name, just like that. And then this should also go to the edit. Excellent. So we're good to go with the sales payments. I think purchase payments also needed the same edit. So we'll just go to the point where we have it, select supplier. It's the same thing, except now we come and deal with the purchase payment supplier name. So come in here, paste this part here, copy the entire line, paste it inside edit where we have the select of supplier. Then we come in here and just do it like this. They're good to go. So I'll just come in here, close all. And I believe now we are at a golden stage where we can actually use this application for what it is. The next things that we're probably going to add are just on a basis of improvements. So I think with this being done, we've already generated a few documents here, which is the P&L statement, the account summaries. You can create whatever other documents you wish to create, and they will be fine. I can see these labels as well, by the way. I don't understand the labels. I don't know how to format these labels. Maybe I should try. So I'm just going to Livewire dashboard. Then there's a part where I set data labels to be true. And then if we come into our admin LTE index part. So I'm just going to come here to the very bottom where we had our charts, where we have our sales chart, and those are the options. So you can see data labels over here. If I was able to do a data label formatter, because tooltip, data labels, because we have tooltip, right? We have tooltip, we have X. Data labels, Y. Let's try and do it like that. I don't know if it will format. Yeah, there we go. Yes. yes, there we go. This is beautiful. This is very, very beautiful. I'm so happy with this, and I hope the rest of you are too. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Steve Nyanumba. 5 hours of coding with, I think this has been the best. This has been the best application I've created so far. This can actually be used. It can actually be used in real life situations. The only thing is that it's not tracking expenses, of which I think we will add into the system later on. So we have products. You can use services as products as well. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. I think. Wow. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about this. I'm feeling very, very good about this. I can see we're at 4 hours and 27 minutes so far in terms of the recording. So what I'm going to do is, instead of, when we make purchases or sales, I would want inside our purchase list group, like let's say, for example, if I was to create a purchase, I'd want inside my purchase list group to denote the price of this particular item. in terms of the purchase price and the sale price. So I'll go back into, there's something else I wanted to format. Oh yeah, there's something else I wanted to format. There's the y-axis formatter. So y-axis, I don't know if that will work. So let's just go back to the dashboard. It's not working. Maybe say y. All right, say that we want to format ApexCharts y-axis. Y-axis dot, is it capital? No, labels, formatter. Yeah, there we go. There we go, it's worked. There we go, it's worked. It is excellent. Excellent. Whew. Okay, so that's essentially, this is beautiful. This is very, very beautiful. So, okay. Yeah, I think we're good to go at this point. There's nothing much that I can sort out next in terms of maybe adding some more variables or values, maybe like a pie chart denoting which one is the most sold product or which category is the most sold or whatever. But yeah, I think that's essentially how I am going to leave it. The only thing now is to add those values of the product where we can come in. You can see product list item over here. And we have this margin start auto over here, or even this ME auto. We can just do this ME auto and actually duplicate it. Then we'll come in here and say, let's say we go to the creating of the purchase. So we have all these product list items over here. They're all centered. We might even remove these margin and autos, save that there like that. And then here, we'll just come in here and try to put price. And then we'll come in here and do product purchase price. Okay, this one was the wrong one to change. It was this one. It was this one I was supposed to change. So I'll just do this div right there. Text inverted secondary. Then I'll come in here and say, oh no, this one can remain primary right now. This one can change to price. And then I'll come in here and say do product purchase price. And then I'll number format with the decimal points 2. And you can see the price is there. And then we have this description, which we will definitely get rid of. So we have our pricing is over here. Now, the only thing that is also really bugging is the maximum width. So we'll just come in here and just do a style max width of maybe say 20%, such that this now lines up like that. And then if we get rid of the margin and autos and just do margin auto like that, actually even margin, all this margin should just go. In fact, I would even like find myself getting rid of the image so that our product search can be looking better. Yeah, yes. Now this MY auto is the same thing I would probably put inside here as a class, which is on the y-axis, it will center like on the center like that. Then instead of balance of units, balance, and then we'll write here BR. I like to use break tags a lot. Then you'll say units. Balance 0 units. Price is there. And each and every single one of these divs should have a margin of 3. And then this 20% can turn into 30%. This margin start auto, get rid of it, and put it here, MS auto. So every one of you should have a margin of 3 like that. So if I do the product search, it looks a bit more symmetrical. Actually, it looks a lot better. So that's the purchase price. You can even do sell. We have the purchase price, we have the sell. So I'll put a small here, saying that this is the purchase, and then space it out like that. And then I'll duplicate this, and then you do selling. Then we'll just come in here and replace this with sale price. Then we have liftoff. So now if I return the image, I think the image will look better at least. And now if I have returned the image, width is 50%. What if I did, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're good to go. I think we're definitely good to go. And then also on top of that, we can also do inside our product list items, wherever it is that we wanted to switch all those up. Now we'll go back to our Livewire and we'll go to invoices, create and edit. Where we have select product, we can come in here and do the search to have the selected product ID. So we'll come in here and say this product search, right, is equal to product, and then we'll come in and say product find, then we'll come and say this selected product ID, or we can just say ID at this point, and then we'll just come in here and say name, right? Is it the product name? Should be the product name. So I'll just come and just check the products table, and I think we have name. All right, we have name. I think that will be fine. So I'll just close all this. I'll copy this, and now we have it inside invoices. We'll go to the invoices edit where we have the select product, paste it there. We have the orders. Inside the orders, we did not actually set the supplier search. So I'll come in here and set supplier search is equal to this order, right? Supplier, and we have name. So there we are. We'll copy this as well. Put it inside the edit for the orders where we have our select supplier. Paste that there, then put this in the select product, and that we are good. Now we have the purchase payments. We'll come and take it to the selected, okay, not purchase payments because we're not dealing with the products there. We'll go to the purchases, we'll go to select products, paste this there, select products, paste this there. So we're good to go. Go to quotations, create, paste that there, and quotations, edit, go and paste that there. Sales, create, sales, edit. We'll go to suppliers, suppliers, create, and yeah, I think generally we have done well. We've done well. We've not dealt with purchase. Have we dealt with purchases just yet? Select product. We're good to go. Yeah. And I think we're good. I think we're just fine. All right. So, of course, I'm going to give it to you guys. Get add all, get commit -m, completed, MVP, get push, origin, master. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come full circle. We've come full circle. We have managed to get to a point where we can call it an application. We can actually get to a point where we can use this for real life situations, and for those who are willing to be able to use this online, you can go ahead. I've left this for you guys in the public domain, and yeah, I've enjoyed creating this. So if you guys have also enjoyed this application as well, make sure you hit that follow. Make sure you hit that follow. And yeah, next video, we're going to be doing a full-on recap on how this application now works. So it's been 5 parts. It's been 20 plus hours of non-stop coding, and we're done. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much. At the point of recording this, I am at 720 subscribers. Thank you so much for all the support that you guys have given me so far, because I've been able to gain up to about 100 subscribers since the last 2 months, in the past 2 months. And this has really motivated me, and it has really pushed me to be able to come up with this application, so that, you know, most of the guys who are training for full stack development can get on with doing a lot of these things. So yeah, for all those guys who are aspiring to become full stack developers and this is your probable stepping stone for you, thank you so much for choosing Yanumba Codes, and I salute you guys. Thank you so much. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next one, which is the recap of the entire application. So we will go through the entire application, try and see if the bugs are there. Will take probably 30 minutes to an hour. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you guys in the next video. Please do indeed take care. And as always, God bless.